Hi, and welcome to AnimalZone. I'm Arthur von Wiesenberger, and this handsome fellow is Mikey, my adopted pit bull. AnimalZone is the A to Z on everything about adoptable pets. Whether you're looking for a bird, a cat, a dog, or even a tortoise, we've got experts who can share their knowledge and insights. So cuddle up with your favorite critter and join us as we explore the AnimalZone. This week on AnimalZone, we're going to go visit the Animal Friends Rescue Project in Pacific Grove, and you're going to meet some amazing dogs and cats. Then we're going down to Los Angeles to the Wallis Annenberg PetSpace and wait until you see these adorable puppies. And finally, we're going to go to Santa Barbara to the Wags and Whiskers Festival, and we're going to find out about pet therapy and Niki Connor. Stay tuned, we've got a lot of AnimalZone coming right up.
Bonjour Alex.
Bonjour Renaud.
Happiness? It's great food prepared the French way.
Chocolate eclair.
What makes you happy?
A touch of Paris.
Without the trip to France. Handcrafted daily in our bakeries, especially for you. Indulge yourself.
Bon appétit.
Please visit Renaud's in Gelston, Santa Barbara, Long Beach, and La Cañada, Flint Ridge.
The Santa Barbara Humane Society is an independent, local, community-based nonprofit with adoptable animals ready to find a forever home today.
At the Santa Barbara Humane Society, we provide low-cost spay and neuter services and vaccinations. It's important for your dogs and cats to get vaccinated to prevent illnesses. And spay and neuter surgeries help prevent unwanted pregnancies and can benefit the health of your pet.
At the Santa Barbara Humane Society, we want you to adopt, not chop.
Today we're at Pacific Grove, California, at the original home of AFRP, an amazing shelter and adoption agency. This was where they originally were located, but they had to move. So we got to walk down the street and go to their new location. So this is AFRP's current home on Fountain Avenue. And there's some dogs and kitties in here waiting to see us. So let's go in and check it out. And we're with Darla Smith, the executive director of AFRP. And Darla, you've got all these beautiful dogs that are waiting for their forever homes. Can you tell me a little bit about them?
Yes, I can. This is Augie. And Augie's an 8-year-old, 10-pound terrier mix. And he came to us from a lady who was no longer able to care for him. Oh. So he's in our care waiting for his forever home.
And he's such a sweet guy, too.
He's a good boy.
He's got beautiful eyes. Well, hi, Augie doggy. And now you got these two adorable dogs, Wallis and Gromit.
Yes.
What's the story with those guys?
So Wallis and Gromit are 4-year-old Shih Tzu mixes, and they came to us from Salinas Animal Services. They showed up at the shelter terribly, terribly matted. You couldn't see their face. They weren't very happy either, but I think it was because they had mats. They were in pain. So we took them, got them to the groomer, got all their medical care, and they're feeling much better, and they're ready to find their new homes.
And they look marvelous. And so up here you've got another dog named Benny. Yes. Can you tell me the story about Benny?
Yes, poor Benny. He went to boarding while his owners went on vacation, and they never came back and picked him up.
They never picked him up?
Nope, they left him.
Oh no.
So the boarding facility called us and asked us if we would be willing to take him. And we, of course, said yes. Benny's about 5 years old, and he's a terrier pug mix. Mm-hmm. And he's a great little dog. He just recently had surgery this week. He had a huge lump on his shoulder. And so we sent it to pathology. We were a little worried, but today we got the news that it's just a benign mass.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so Benny actually has an adopter waiting, and he'll be adopted this week.
How wonderful.
It is wonderful.
Oh, that's great. Well, there's always a silver lining in almost every story, right?
Yes, there is.
Now, you've had a lot of adoptions since you first opened. When did you first open?
1998.
And how many adoptions have you had?
Well, we've had 24,654.
That's something to shout about.
That is.
I'm impressed.
That is. That's a number to be proud of.
And you also have cats, right?
We do have cats.
Well, let's go take a look at a little kitty or two.
Perfect.
Hey, take a look at these loving animals that you can adopt today. And don't worry, if someone beats you to the shelter, there are plenty more wonderful animals ready to find you and their forever home.
Every morning you could count on it being there with the rise of the sun. We're proud to say we've been there every day with you. The Santa Barbara News Press plans to continue sharing the news of the day with you all through the year and beyond. It's nice to know there are some things you can still count on. The Santa Barbara News Press, serving Santa Barbara since 1855.
Subscribe today. Call 1-800-654-3292.
So this is the cattery at AFRP, and Darla, you've got so many beautiful kitties, kittens and cats and all kinds.
We do.
How many do you have that come through here in an average year?
Oh my goodness. So in a year, we rescue about 1,000 animals, dogs and cats. But I think right now we have about 270 cats in our program.
Wow.
We're still at the tail end of kitten season, and so...
But now, I thought kitten season was only in the spring, but is it year-round now?
It's pretty much year-round. We haven't gotten a break yet.
And are these kittens, are they born out on the streets? I mean, how do you end up with them?
A lot of the cats that we get have been born to feral moms out on the streets. A lot of them wind up in the shelters. So we get calls from the shelter daily about litters of kittens. A lot of times people will find little baby kittens in a nest. They think they don't have a mom, and so they snatch them up and take them to the shelter. And if they would have just left them alone, mom was probably still taking care of them. So.
All right. Now you do spay and neutering on all the cats you have that come through here.
Absolutely.
There's also a lot of other medical needs that happen with some cats, right? And those can be pretty expensive.
Absolutely.
You got this one kitty that has an eye problem?
Right, Clyde. Danielle, could you please bring Clyde over?
So how did Clyde come to you?
He came to us from the shelter, and he's actually blind. He has cataracts. Hi, buddy.
Oh, Clyde is blind, huh? I bet he's looking for 3 blind mice. No, maybe not. Oh, but you look so sweet.
He is so sweet. He came to us.
Beautiful markings too.
As a kitten, and he had cataracts, so he couldn't see. And we got him another cat because he was really unhappy just being by himself. So we put another cat with him to be his seeing eye cat. And just recently we had his eye removed because it could be painful. And it's likely he's going to have his other eye removed at some point because right now he can only see shadows. So, yeah.
Now, that's going to be a hard cat to have adopted, no? With a blind cat?
Interestingly enough, is people love one-eyed cats, 3-legged dogs. It seems like if there's something wrong with them, people want them.
Well, that's great to hear. That's really encouraging.
Yeah.
Now, do your animals get adopted just within the Pacific Grove area, or do they go further afield?
Actually, we get applications from all over the world sometimes.
Okay.
In fact, one of our dogs right now is going to be adopted from Finland.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just one of our volunteers. Her brother lives in Finland, fell in love with the dog, and so the dog's going to Finland.
Oh,
but generally, it's closer. We do home visits, so we want to make sure that our animals are going to a good, safe home.
Now, I'm a kitten-aholic. Do you have any kittens I can see?
A kitten-aholic.
Yeah,
Danielle, do we have any kittens?
So at what age do you actually start adopting out kittens?
The general rule is they have to be 2 pounds, 2 months old to be spayed or neutered. So as long as they're 2 pounds, they can be altered, and once they're altered, they can be adopted.
Wow. Now, I'm reading in a book about cats, and there's a theory in this particular book that we're spaying and neutering a lot of domestic cats, but there's a lot of feral cats that are not being spayed or neutered. So at the end of the day, are those genetics that are the feral genetic going to be predominant within the cat population in this country?
You know, I'm really not sure about that. I do know that at AFRP we have a TNR program. If you're not familiar with that, that is trap, neuter, and release of feral cats. So we have trappers that go out and trap the cats, we get them altered, and then we put them back out on the street.
What's this one's little name, by the way?
Norma.
Norma Jean. Can I have Norma?
Of course.
Please? Norma, come on over. I used to have a cat that was a tuxedo kitty that reminds me of you. And
maybe you'd like to adopt.
So how old is Norma?
Norma's about 4 months old.
So perfect time to go home with somebody.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet. And does Norma have other siblings?
Usually they do. I don't know if we still have any. Do you know if her siblings are here? She has one sibling. One sibling.
Because it's a good idea, don't you think, to adopt more than one?
2 cats are always better than one.
They really are. I mean, they entertain each other.
They do.
They're not lonely, especially if they're siblings. I mean,
absolutely.
Oh, and here's Norma's. Is it a brother or a sister? Oh.
And they will entertain you. You never have to turn your TV on if you have 2 kittens.
That's true. See, I would have called Norma Sister Jean. No? No, I guess not. Okay. Hi there.
This is
Bianca. Bianca, you got Bianca and a bit of Grayanka too. They will be adopted. Oh, that's great. That is so wonderful. And I imagine that the kittens, if they're at this age, if you have other cats in the house, there's a transitional period. They kind of aren't too territorial yet, right?
Right, there's just a transition. You have to introduce them properly. A lot of times you put them in a separate room so the cat that was there first, they can smell them and know they're there, but you don't just throw them in together right off the bat.
Sure. Wow, this one is such a sweetheart.
I know.
I mean, really.
Maybe you should take her home.
I think they hang me. I have so many adopted animals now. This show is driving our out of house and home. But Norma, you are just wonderful. Do you have old cats too?
We do. We have senior cats. Mm-hmm. Quite a few, actually. Sometimes after they're adopted, they can be adopted for quite some time, and then events change in a person's life and they can no longer keep them. And at AFRP, we're there for the life of the animal. So if you adopt an animal from us and 12 years later you can't keep it, we will always take the animal.
Has that happened?
It has. More than once, unfortunately.
So really, you've got a legacy agreement with your adopters.
We do.
Which is wonderful.
That's
one of the things that I always worry about is the people that may be a bit older or have health issues and they have a pet, and then what happens when they can't look after the animal any longer?
All they have to do is give us a call.
Wow, that's terrific. So tell me, I just wanted to find out about your history, because I remember when you were originally up on the main street here.
Right.
And it was a great visual. The store was beautiful. I mean, this is nice, but that place was knockout.
Right.
And it was such a great idea. You were so ahead of your time because you were providing a great environment for people to see animals in what they could imagine eventually being their own home.
Right.
But you had to move, right?
We did. What happened was the people who owned the building, they were going to sell it. And so the executive director at the time didn't want it to be sold and us to have no place to go. So he found this place and he moved us here.
So you moved here and everything went fine until what?
Well, until recently we found out that this building is going to be leveled and they're going to build a big hotel here. So in addition to our pets being homeless, we're going to be homeless.
Yikes.
And we'll get a 90-day notice and have to move.
Wow. So you're going to need to find another location.
We desperately need to find a location.
It'd be great if you could get a location that AFRP could own and then not have to worry about moving again, right?
That would absolutely be ideal. And we would really love to stay in Pacific Grove.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it all started.
Right.
And we have a lot of support here and we would love to stay here, but it's very difficult to find space.
Wow. Well, maybe somebody out there might get motivated to try and help you guys. If they want to get in touch with you, do you have a website?
We do.
What is it?
And that is www.animalfriendsrescue.org.
Darla, thank you for having us today, and good luck with finding your forever home as well.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more AnimalZone.
I'm Dina Eastwood, and you're watching AnimalZone.
take a look at these loving animals that you can adopt today. And don't worry, if someone beats you to the shelter, there are plenty more wonderful animals ready to find you and their forever home.
Care for Paws was started in 2009 with a goal to reduce pet overpopulation and keep animals out of shelters, and also to ensure that pets can stay with their owners for life. We, from the get-go, established a free spay and neuter program that would help low-income pet owners fix their pets. So we provide shots, microchips, dewormer, flea treatment. We also have a veterinary intervention program. It's a way for us to help improve the quality of life for the animal as well for the owner, because when an animal suffers in the family, so does the rest of the family.
The Wallis Annenberg PetSpace is an amazing adoption facility in Los Angeles. Let's head into their Paws Lounge and learn about their incredible puppy program. We're here with Lee, an animal and training behavioral coordinator. Boy, that's a mouthful. You know, I have all this on me, and it makes your brain work much slower, doesn't it? But you are basically working with all these animals and helping them to adjust to, hopefully, their forever home.
Yes, that is really what we're here looking for. We're trying to bridge the gap from where they're coming from at the shelter to being in a home forever. We really look at these guys as future forever pets. We're just here to help facilitate that.
And you want to start when they're really little, right?
Yes,
actually. When did you usually start with puppies?
Puppies start learning at a couple days old.
Wow.
So that's the crazy thing. And really, to make a big impact in their life, you have those first 8 weeks, but of course they usually stay with mommy until then. So it's really important that rescue groups and shelters do quite a bit of work there. And then when you get them home at that 8-week time point, sign them up for a puppy class. The number one thing that keeps dogs in homes forever, from puppyhood till geriatric, is attending a puppy class, actually. That is the number one thing it depends on. And the reason is, when you give them a really good start, you just reap the benefits for years and years to come. So you can do stuff by 6 weeks old that will actually help a puppy. And then when you get them home at 8 weeks old, you can still do things up to 12 weeks old. People think that socialization is something that they do lifelong, but the bulk of it's actually done by about 12 weeks old. By 12 weeks old, these puppies should meet 100 different people, go to 100 different interesting places, and learn to associate those things with positive. Not just, oh, I met a new person today, but I met a new person today and they were super cool, and I liked that. So you can go ahead and pick one up and be one of those people for us.
Hi there. Now, how old is this little one?
These guys are about 7 or 8 weeks old. It's kind of hard because when we get animals from the shelter, we have to look at their teeth to see how old we think they are. Unfortunately, they don't tend to have parents that we know how old they are. So we have a couple of weeks to do quite a bit of work. The nice thing being here, we have this amazing space, we have this amazing place, and we have incredible volunteers that are always willing to do the tough work and pet a puppy.
I'll pet a puppy any day. So I assume this is probably a bit of a Chihuahua mix, are you?
That's what we're thinking, Chihuahua Dachshunds maybe. And since those types of dogs do tend to be a little nervous around new things, we have this in here, which is here all the time, and this is an adventure box. And that's something, with all of the new information, with how young things get trained and animals get exposed to things and it benefits them for life, we have this in here with them so that they can discover this on their own. They can get used to weird things touching them, weird noises, and really become comfortable with that by the time they get sent to their forever home.
So for our viewers who have maybe just received some puppies, maybe they had a dog that gave birth, what are some of the key things they should do in order to make sure those puppies adjust properly?
Get into a training class, or there's a couple of really good books out there too. So if your puppies are too young to actually go into a training class and now you have these puppies at home, there's a lot of really great things online. There's Perfect Puppy in 7 Days, which sounds crazy to make a perfect puppy in 7 days, but it was written by somebody as she was working with the dog, so it was really interesting. There's also Puppy Start Right is a great book. It's kind of a newer book, but it is a step-by-step manual on how to set these puppies up for lifelong learning and successful lifelong learning. So we really want to train these dogs. This is okay and this is not okay.
And you also want to always keep your dogs busy, right?
Yes, it's very important for them to be busy. So here you can see we have a variety of surfaces for them to be on. We have a variety of toys for them to put in their mouths. As you can see, the two puppies at our feet, they explore with their mouths. They put everything in their mouth. It's gonna go in there. So we want to set it up so that they're realizing different textures and hardness and softness and how to really use their jaws properly. Because believe it or not, a puppy putting teeth on somebody, it has to be trained by about 20 weeks old, what it's allowed to put its teeth on and what is a big no-no to put its teeth on. So people's skin, big no-no. All of these toys, absolutely bite all day long.
And what about when a puppy gives you a kiss in your mouth? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, it depends on where its mouth was before yours. That has a lot
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, so I tend to not let dogs near my face, especially puppies. It is a very natural thing for puppies to eat things that we perhaps wouldn't want near our faces.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess it's going to be a tough day for you here,
Yeah.
huh? No kisses. But, well, that's great. Lee, this is so fascinating. I love what you're doing here, and the technology is amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, well, we're going to take a little break, and I'm going to take this little puppy for a kiss and a walk, and we'll be right back after these words.
My grandfather taught me about the beauty of the rugs. Each one tells a story. Story about the person who wove it, the person who bought it, the person who inherits it, the person who treasures it. It's amazing how simply looking at an object can bring you back to a different place and time, or remind you of someone you love. At Santa Barbara Design Center, we want to help you find a rug that will travel through time with your family for generations to come. Visit us at 410 Olive Street and find your treasure today.
The Santa Barbara County Animal Care Foundation is dedicated to saving animals' lives, but we need your help to continue this critical work. SBCACF provides year-round medical and surgical care so that abandoned, homeless, or abused animals receive the best second chance at finding a loving home.
No animal is turned away from surgical care.
To learn more and assist us in keeping that pledge, visit sbcanimalcare.org and make a donation today.
If they can be saved,
we want to save them.
Every morning you could count on it being there with the rise of the sun. We're proud to say we've been there every day with you. The Santa Barbara News Press plans to continue sharing the news of the day with you all through the year and beyond. It's nice to know there are some things you can still count on. The Santa Barbara News Press, serving Santa Barbara since 1855.
Subscribe today. Call 1-800-654-3292.
Today we're at the Wags and Whiskers Adoption Festival, the largest of its kind in Central California, where AnimalZone correspondent Niki Connor is going to learn about an organization that's truly making a difference when it comes to pet therapy.
Hi, I'm Niki Connor with AnimalZone, and we're here at the Care for Paws Wags and Whiskers event. I'm here with Shelly, Ted, and Daisy.
And Molly.
And Molly, hello.
Right.
And they're with Pet Partners. Can you please tell me a little about Pet Partners?
Okay, Pet Partners is an organization that registers therapy dogs and cats and guinea pigs and many horses. We do 9 species. We've been around since the 1970s. We used to be called Delta, and changed to Pet Partners in 2012. So we are nationwide. We're actually international in Sydney and Japan and Canada, South America, and we visit all sorts of locations: hospitals, libraries, schools, hospices, nursing homes, wherever anyone wants to see an animal and get a little comfort. So we do both animal-assisted intervention, which is comfort. We do animal-assisted therapy, working with therapists of all kinds, and we do education. So we do a Read With Me program to help the children who find it much, thank you.
Oh, I saw that.
Right. Find it much easier to read to a dog than to read to a human being, and they actually learn much quicker.
Wow, you truly are a global organization. Ted, can you tell me about how you started Pet Partners?
I didn't start Pet Partners. Pet Partners was started by 3 doctors, and they wanted to work on the animal-human bond, and that's what we're all about.
Right.
That's why at first we were Delta. It was animal-human bond, and from there we grew. In 1997, it was small. Shelley and I have been sent overseas to teach other people, all over the world. We've had people from China, Argentina, Switzerland, Australia, and we're spreading the word. And our whole purpose is, whatever the venue it is, get in there and work with the doctors, the therapists, the police officers, the clergy, to work and advance the animal-human bond.
I love the different forms of therapy where you're using these animals because such intuitive animals, it can really help save lives of people as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have had children who refused to tell the teachers what was wrong, but they would tell the dog. And then the teachers would hear and be able to help the children. This works particularly well with children with disabilities because many times they've been abused by adults, but they will tell a dog anything because dogs keep secrets.
They do.
And so because of that, they really open up to the dogs.
And actually, we have 2 new things we're moving into. We've always been part of crisis response, but we've realized the need to train the people, the handlers. The dogs know what to do, but how do you talk to someone in a crisis? How do you help and not say the wrong thing? We just started that. It's AACR, Animal Assisted Crisis Response. Okay. And the other thing that's kind of my pet project is we're moving into therapy rooms, and we're working with occupational therapists, we're working with physical, speech therapists, and they're using the dogs as motivators. And we've been doing this for years at Children's Hospital in LA. And what we found, we actually did a study where kids who had spinal fusion had to walk the next day. 50 children got a dog, 50 children didn't. The children with the dog walked further, did stairs many times on the first days, asked for less pain medication, and left a day earlier. So it really...
Wow, I am so inspired. You're doing wonderful things here with Pet Partners. Thank you so much for meeting with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carrie Burns, and I'm the Executive Director for the Santa Barbara Humane Society. And what we want you to know is that Humane Societies are local to each community. No one is associated with the National Humane Society. So when you donate or you adopt, know that everything that you touch is right there in your own backyard. We want you to donate, volunteer, and adopt. For more information, visit sbhumanesociety.org.
Bonjour Alex.
Bonjour Renaud.
Happiness? It's great food prepared the French way.
Chocolate eclair.
What makes you happy?
A touch of Paris.
Without the trip to France. Handcrafted daily in our bakeries, especially for you. Indulge yourself.
Bon appétit.
Please visit Renault's in Gelston, Santa Barbara, Long Beach, and La Cañada, Flint Ridge.
Weren't there some amazing animals and guests? You know, you who adopt animals from shelters, you are the true heroes. If you want to see more about AnimalZone and other things, check out our website, animalzone.org, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Never was a friend so true, never was a friend like you. Canine, you're my best friend. Canine of mine, friend for all time. So glad you're my best friend. Through thick and thin, we'll see things through. Canine of mine, so true. Did I find you or did you find me? Either way, it's still serendipity. When I saw you, it was plain to see you weren't just another lassie wannabe. Oh, canine of mine, friend for all time. I'm so glad you're my best friend.